Hi guys, and welcome back to Getting There, the podcast, the solo series where I dive deep into the themes that have shaped my life. This week's episode is, to be honest, one of those really personal ones because I think it's about something that we all go through at some point in our lives. The moment when we realise that the people who raised us are human too. For a long time, I carried a lot of resentment and I blamed my parents for the way I was, for my anxiety, for my patterns, for my fears. And for so much of my life, I thought if they'd just be different, maybe I would have turned out a little bit different too. But actually, on my journey of getting there and through a lot of reflection, I came to realise something that completely changed my life. Everyone is just doing the best they can with what's in front of them. That's it. And that includes our parents. Most parents are just trying. Most of them never set out to hurt us. They were just trying to keep their lives together, to survive another day and to do the best they can with the tools that are in front of them. And when I finally understood that, it softened me to something. It helped me let go of any anger and to start to see the good, the qualities they passed down, the strength, the compassion, the fire. Because the truth is, those experiences that once felt painful have also shaped me. They taught me resilience, they've made me who I am, and I've realised that being at peace with who you are today, that is the real work. For years, I was chasing the destination of success, the version of the life I thought that would finally make me feel enough. But what I've learned is that the beauty has always been in the getting. 9 times out of 10, when we arrive, it never feels the way we would have imagined. So this week's episode is really about releasing blame, finding compassion from where we came from, and learning to see our parents and ourselves through much gentler eyes. I hope you enjoy it. You see, it was back in 2014 when I was backpacking around the world. Sounds fun, doesn't it? But you see, the thing is, I didn't want to be travelling around the world. I wanted to be at home, in my bed. I actually quite liked routine. I like things the way that I like them, guys. I like to control things. And I always had this desperate need to order and control things. Because in truth, my life had always been so utterly out of control. I couldn't go back to the UK because I was fleeing the most toxic of breakups. Insomnia, addiction to diet tablets, and I was going through a breakdown of the utmost kind. The people all around me were unstable, reckless, abusive, unreliable, and pretty much like they had been my whole life. You see, I sat in this hotel in New Zealand and I came over with another furious panic attack. My hands were sweating, my heart was racing, and I was struggling for words. I didn't know what to do. It felt like everyone was watching me. In that exact moment, I came over so angry. Why didn't I know what I was meant to do when I was feeling like this? Why did I always have to feel so fucking anxious? No one else seemed to be going through this stuff, and I just had no coping mechanisms, literally none. I was trying to read a book about how to breathe when I felt like this, and I couldn't even catch my next breath. That is how useless I felt. I just couldn't even breathe right. You see, I was never really taught to deal with feelings. So here I was, struggling, scared, alone, and trying to understand what these feelings meant. Trying to navigate my way to simply through the next day without another panic attack. I felt trapped and I never really saw an end. I wanted to know when these feelings would go away. As I started to deeply reflect on my childhood, I asked myself some questions. Did my parents actually mean to do this to me? Did they mean to make me like this? Do they even know what an anxious mess they've created? Therefore, was it their intention? It made me think about our intention in life. You see, our parents and our caregivers are just products of their experiences and their lives, their traumas, their parents' parenting, their environments, their stories. And when you stop and actually think about it, most of the trauma that we carry didn't start with us. It's been passed down through generations, through war, through survival. You know, like those old sayings, children should be seen and not heard. And you realise that kind of stuff came from somewhere. There were generations of men who came back from war completely wrecked, physically, mentally, emotionally broken. They literally watched their mates get blown to bits and they had to hold it together. Come home, get on with it, get on with life. And what did they do? They drank, they shut down, they numbed out, because actually feeling anything would be too painful. They couldn't process it, so they suppressed it. And those coping mechanisms, they got passed down to our parents. The silence, the emotional distance, the belief that you just crack on and never really talk about how you feel. And now here we are, holding emotions that were never really ours in the first place. It's called generational trauma. But here's the mad thing. It's not about blaming them. They were doing the best they could with what they had. But now we know more. What does that mean? And for me, it means it stops with us. We get to feel what they couldn't. We get to name it, face it, heal it. And we get to live our lives differently, not just for us, but for everyone who comes after. In summary, our parents are just a product of their parents. They never intended to make any of us end up like this. They never wanted to hurt us. They just wanted to get by too. I truly believe that neither of my parents would have acted the way they did if they'd known what they know now. You see, we are all just learning as we go. If we're going to blame our parents, we need to blame them properly. If they are responsible for the broken, messy pieces, then they are also responsible for the beauty that lies within you. For your heart, for your soul, or for your kindness, for your fire, for the way you show up for others, or how deeply you care and how hard you love. Because they didn't just pass on wounds, they also passed on wisdom, strength, resilience, your kindness, your compassion, and all the other great things that they've taught you. And maybe even without meaning it, they helped shape some of the most beautiful parts of who you are. They aren't all bad, so before we completely throw them under the bus, something that I found useful was to go and write a list of the amazing attributes that they have given you, almost like the positive legacy that they've left in you. For example, my father is so generous and he has such a caregiving nature, and his constant need to help others is actually part of what brought me here today. It shaped me into who I am. It's inspired me to write the book. It's why I feel so deeply called to help others too. So for that, I'm truly thankful. One of the things we did on the Hoffman process was to write a list to both your mum and your dad and talk about the positive traits and impacts that they've given you. Actually, we had to go and give it to our parents afterwards. I remember my dad came running out of a restaurant and he was like, "What is this?" I think he'd had a drink as well. I think he forgot I even gave it to him. But what I came to learn is that we need to forgive them. At any given moment, everyone that we come across is really just doing the best we can with what we have. And there is a certain point in your life that you are not a product of your environment you're bringing anymore. The way you choose to operate becomes your own personal responsibility. You are 100% responsible for your life, not anyone else.